All right, welcome to another edition of It's Still Real to Me, fresh off of the finish of this year's Money in the Bank, what I think was a classic edition of Money in the Bank. My pal Joey Levine joining us here. Of course, everything ZASLOW Show 2.0, including It's Still Real to Me, it's always brought to us by our title sponsor, Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. If you're involved in any kind of injury, you have any kind of accident, you're involved in an injury, you got to make sure you call Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-3733. Joey, are you as fired up as I am to get into the meat and potatoes here of what I think was a classic Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think it was incredible. But, I mean, I got to just tell you right off the bat, the MVP for me, the referee in the main event, that guy, that shot he took, he's hurt.
It seemed like his nether regions got caught on the rope, right?
Or his hand, something with his thigh, his quad, or his hand. Yeah. He got caught up bad. I was shocked he got back in the ring. I thought they were going to send someone down.
I miss good ref bumps. I like a ref bump every now and then, you know?
I'm okay with a ref bump, but I think he's legit hurt. Someone needs to check on him.
Well, he soldiered on, like he powered through it.
It did the job.
Yeah, that's right. He was available for the final few minutes, including a classic false finish when he got up off of the outside onto the apron. So we'll start obviously with the main event, Bloodline Civil War, and there's a lot of different things I want to touch on here. You know, first, let me set it up with what an unbelievable crowd. I mean, if you didn't know that pro wrestling, you need to have the crowd. The crowd is such a major part of this sport. And when you have a hot crowd, I mean, maybe it's because here in the States we're spoiled. We have Raw every week. We have SmackDown here every week. We have almost every pay-per-view. And then every now and then you get a pay-per-view in Puerto Rico and they're nuts. And you get a pay-per-view in London and they're nuts. Maybe we're spoiled here. But holy shit, that crowd was on fire the whole night.
The UK sports fans are different. It's every sport. It's not just wrestling. Like, obviously, Puerto Rico is nuts, but there was a little bit more to that. Bad Bunny and that. I mean, it's going to be hard to ever beat that entrance for me.
There was a nationalistic atmosphere surrounding.
Yeah, it was the LWO and Bad Bunny was going to be there. I mean, the Zelina, there was a lot that went into it. UK fans are just different. I mean, the chants and the singing.
Yeah, it was very soccer style, this show tonight.
Remember when they had NXT UK, the crowd's obviously smaller. It was always like that. They were always hot. They're doing chants. I mean, these guys last night and today, they're doing the Bailey chant. They can't stop. They did it the whole match last night. She's a heel, and they're still doing it.
They're chanting, fuck you, Roman. They're chanting, stand up if you hate Roman. Sit down if you hate Roman. Yep. It was, I mean, the crowd was phenomenal from start to finish.
And the pop LA Knight, I mean, we'll talk about it, but the LA Knights pop that he got from that crowd was, I mean, that was close to an all-timer. I mean, that was unbelievable too. That the crowd, just ridiculous.
I would also tell you, I don't want to make this a WWE thinks. This is a WWE Money in the Bank reaction show that we're doing here. So this really shouldn't have anything to do with anything involving AEW. But talk about, you know, the perfect timing for a show. 3.5 hours. Now, granted, it's the afternoon here on the East Coast. It's the show ended at 11:30 p.m. local time, but still 3.5 hour show. That's a perfect timing.
And I thought it was longer than it. I actually thought it was going to be shorter. I was anticipating. I guess I don't think I realized how many matches there were.
7 matches.
Yeah, which I thought there was only like maybe 5 or 6 coming in. So maybe, I don't know but I thought it'd be 2.5, 3 hours. 3.5's fine. But I thought it was actually a little longer than I expected it to go, but it was still good. I mean, everything was good.
And the final thing I want to get to here before we get to the meat and potatoes, but this does lead us into the main event, which is where we will start. So last night on SmackDown, Michael Cole is going over all the matches. He's previewing the matches for tonight's Money in the Bank. And then he finally, at the end, gets to, and our main event for tomorrow night, Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio.
Huge main event.
And that starts to dominate the Twitterverse. Hold up. Did Michael Cole just say that Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio is the main event? So that's all over Twitter last night and this morning, early afternoon, leading up to the show today. And I'm thinking to myself, number one, it's insane that the Bloodline is not the main event. Number two, that's a big slap in the face to the World Championship. We already had this conversation last month, and I was fine with the World Championship, the inaugural match for the World Championship not going on last because Bloodline needs to be last. So I was okay with it. But I'm not going to be able to defend it if 2 months in a row it's not in the main event. And the reason for it not being in the main event today is because we're getting Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio. So, there's nothing about the build. The build to Cody and Dominic's been fine. But there's nothing about the build to that screams main event to anybody who is watching leading up to this show. So I was so relieved where we're like 4 matches in, and then Michael Cole, they show the graphic. It says, coming up next, we got Cody Rhodes and Dominic. I mean, so let me ask you, did they change their mind over the extreme negative reaction to that? Or did they just make a mistake last night?
No, I think he didn't say it was the last match. He said it was a main event. And
but he didn't say it's one of our main events. He said it's the main event.
Today at 11:30, I got a text from WWE. Money in the Bank is today a triple main event and 2 explosive matches, 2 explosive ladder matches. And then
so they changed their mind?
Right at 3, Money in the Bank starts now on Peacock. Don't miss an epic triple main event.
So did they change their mind?
I don't think they changed their mind. I don't know if they changed. Maybe. Or
they made a mistake.
Or what about this? When you texted me yesterday, you said this the fact that it's last clearly means Brock's going to be there.
Yes.
What if they couldn't get Brock? What if they thought Brock was going to make it and they couldn't get Brock? Maybe Vince was like, Brock, you got to end the show, brother. And they couldn't get him.
That could be true. Or now, as we see, the way that the night unfolded and the way that the night ended, how the hell was this not always the main event? You're telling me
I think
this
more
is
likely
the finish to the match, and we're still going to get. I got to sit there right now. Roman Reigns just got pinned for the first time in 3.5 years, and I'm watching Cody and Dominic right now.
I can tell you. I can tell you. I don't know how much we're even going to talk about Cody and Dominic because I'll just say right now, a great show, probably an all-time Money in the Bank. That match didn't have to be on the show. No. That match didn't have to be on the show.
It did not. It was only on the show because Cody needs to be on the show. That's why I was on the show. But
you know what? And I understand he's a star. You could have done it last night as the main event of SmackDown or the fight, the match right before the end of the show, whatever. And you could have put the women's title match on the pay-per-view. Yep. And it would have been the same. It would have had the same impact. Yep. The crowd still would have got Cody. They still would have got Cody and Dom. This is not a pay-per-view match. It's not a pay-per-view match.
It was the only match that had no juice to it. It really was.
And it wasn't a pay-per-view match in place of Charlotte versus Asuka. Like it just shouldn't have been that way. It was pointless to be on the show unless there was going to be a Brock part of it, but that still could have happened on SmackDown. So yeah,
I saw
the whole thing was weird. Yeah.
So I saw these reports earlier today. You know, once Cody and Dom was in the middle of the show, I saw this one tweet how the Bloodline.
You're saying before your tweet limit ran out?
No, I got blue check mark, dog. I got blue check mark.
Oh, so you get 6. Okay, because mine ran out already.
I like having the blue check mark. I got blue check mark, dog.
Okay.
So I saw on Twitter, once we knew Cody and Dom was in the main event, which obviously means Bloodline is main event, like it always should be. Okay, no matter what. And I saw, and it was in quotes, Bloodline Civil War is the main event. And WWE has prepared a, quote, drastic finish to the match. And I didn't know what that meant. And now after we went, Joey, that was a drastic finish to the main event.
Well, I don't know what they mean by drastic. I mean, epic, I think epic would be a word I would like. I guess drastic, sure. Drastic means like, to me, it makes me think like, something else was going to happen and they made a drastic change in their decision making. But yeah, I guess it's technically, yes, it's a drastic.
That shit was awesome. That was awesome.
It was incredible.
And you know why I
but
liked.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say, once LA Knight lost, I had a feeling the Usos were gonna win.
Once what?
Once LA Knight did not win Money in the Bank, I had a feeling the Usos were gonna win.
You got to give the crowd something huge.
I guess you could have them like start the night not happy and end the night not happy, but I had a feeling with that crowd.
I didn't consider that.
Once LA Knight lost, Usos were winning that match, but I wasn't sure, and I also didn't go into
did you give it any thoughts saying, okay, I think the Usos are going to win and they're going to pin Roman?
Well, I think
that never crossed my mind. Never.
I thought about this last night. I told myself, I'm gonna go into this match with zero expectation of anything that could possibly happen, because I'm always wrong about the Bloodline, and that's what's great about the Bloodline.
I thought he was smashing, stacking, and pinning them.
Yeah, well, he did smash, he did stack, and he just didn't get the win. How about this? We have the post event.
Okay, so you're watching the press conference right now.
Yep, I have it. Yep, I have closed captions on. Damian Priest is out. Io Sky is out with Bayley.
Well, I'm sure they're going to disagree about something sitting up there together right now.
But they're out there. They're all three of them are on the like the two winners, and Bayley is with Io.
We'll get to that because, man, did I love the finish of that match.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
great.
super creative.
I just thought that was interesting that she's out there. I thought they would have been broken up now.
I loved the finish because it was almost like a test run where Roman's not going to lose his title, but let's see what kind of reaction we get when Roman gets pinned. And so he gets pinned and you get just a massive, shocking reaction. And it's like, okay, when he finally gets pinned in a singles match to lose that title, that's going to be some shit. I thought that was cool. It's like a little bit of a, let's do a soft run here. Let's see what it looks like.
Can you do that in London? Like, that crowd's going to lose that crowd's going to fucking lose their mind with.
I'm glad that's where they did it because you're right. I'm glad that's where they did it.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously to me, this just means it's Jay and Roman at SummerSlam. 100%. Jay pinned Roman.
Right? And that's important to note. Jay pinned Roman. You're right. That's important to note. Yep. And we're definitely getting Jay and Roman at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Roman.
Or is it going to be for who's the tribal chief? Because he already said he doesn't want it.
Well, I think they said that last night, right? On SmackDown, him and Jimmy both said
yes.
They
planted the seed of Roman versus Solo. We could get Roman versus Solo is not out of the question for SummerSlam. Because we planted that seed. I don't think it's out of the question. But at the same time, Solo can't be the one to unseat Roman. So I don't know.
No, I don't think it'll be Roman. I think it's going to be Roman and Jay. But I think the whole time leading up to SummerSlam, a lot of the story is going to be, is Solo with the Usos or is he with Roman? I think Roman is going to sort of start questioning Solo more and more, it seems like.
Okay.
You can just see it even in the match. There were moments where Solo...
when he stacked him, smashed him, and then didn't get the pin, it's like Solo was like, he was embarrassed.
He was the leader.
He was embarrassed with Roman. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
And then he was like, come on, let's go. Like, let's do this. Yeah. And that's calling back to last night. It actually brings it full circle where the Usos were like, we think he could be the tribal chief. And Roman started laughing. And now tables are turned. Roman is like crying and Solo's like, what are you doing? Like, let's go. So that was
great job by Michael Cole pointing out when they had the exchange off the rope, super kick, Superman punch, super kick, spear, and Jay kicked out. Great. I was wondering, because my son said to me, why is he holding his balls? And I had no idea. And then Michael Cole says, oh, look at the replay. We missed this. He actually gave him a low blow. And then, of course, you get Solo, who's out. He's on the table. And you get the finish. That shit was all. My younger son came over. He's hugging me. I mean, it was awesome, man. Like, it was peak awesome pro wrestling, the finish that we got. And the first half of the match was fine. It was a little bit monotonous, super storytelling the first half of the match. Did they pick it up the second half. Woo!
But I'll tell you, I was locked in. Like, I'm not ready for Bloodline to be done. I'm not ready for this to be done. Like, I know it's
I don't know
who
in creative can watch this and say, let's not find a way to keep milking this. You have to.
Because like as great as the show was, I still, on Twitter, there's some UFC fights going on that I have on the smaller screen. Like but I'm focused on wrestling, but then as soon as Bloodline comes up, everything else is off and I'm locked in. Like as great as everything else was, this story is you have to watch everything about this story. Like all the other things, they're all good, and the matches are good, and there's some good storytelling, and there's a lot of good stuff. But with Bloodline, as soon as they all come out, I'm locked in. Phones down, other screens down, and I'm just I can't imagine. You can't really imagine a scenario right now with professional wrestling where Bloodline doesn't exist. And I'm not saying it's
you gotta
getting
keep
there.
It going.
I'm not saying it's going. I'm not saying we're close to that, but who knows? I mean, we're getting to the point where like, where else do you go? Because
well, I think where we go now is the next step is what Jay and Jimmy were saying on SmackDown is the family is talking, and you know what's going to happen if you lose. And not only did he lose, they pinned him. So that's where we're at now is the family has been talking, and now what's the family saying? Like that's the next step now. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah. And then there's going to be probably a Heyman angle to it. What happens with Heyman? Because I'm sure at some point,
how about that promo from Heyman at the beginning of the night, huh?
Unbelievable. That guy.
Unbelievable.
That guy. I mean, he is an all-timer. And I'm going to tell you this. I listened to his entire podcast interview with Rick Rubin that he did recently in like
Rick
3.5
Rubin,
hours.
Huge pro wrestling fan.
Yeah. You always see him at shows in the background.
Huge fan.
I think when Bloodline's done, Heyman's done. I think he is done on TV. We talked about it, like who's going to be the next Heyman guy. I don't know if you know this. He has written into his contract, there's only 3 people that he can be on TV with.
Really?
Brock, Rousey, and Roman.
But he's never done anything with Rousey.
Because it hasn't been an opportunity.
Yeah.
So when Brock was going to be gone for a little while, this is the story he told. He was like, all right, well, I'm off TV and that's fine. I don't want to be on TV for a while. And at that time was when Rousey was pregnant. And I guess Vince came to him and was like, I need you back on TV. And he thought Vince was going to make him an announcer. And he's like, well, Vince, that's kind of tough with my contract. And Vince was like, I think I want Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns. And Paul was like, I can't believe he's doing it, because he was like, he would have never done this with Cena, because, Roman was like sort of being built as like the next big baby face all time, whatever.
And Vince, he refused to turn him.
And he refused to turn Cena. So Heyman was like shocked that he put them together. But I'm telling this story because we've talked like what happens after Heyman, like who's the next Heyman guy. It may not be anybody. Apparently it's in his contract. It isn't anybody.
Yeah.
So as long as Bloodline's around, it's Heyman. This might be it. We got to appreciate Heyman now even more, because we may not get him anymore on TV after the Bloodline.
That shit was awesome, man. That was such a great finish. So, do you have anything else on the main event? Because I want to get to the Money in the Bank, obviously.
No.
That was so good, incredible, man.
Incredible.
It was incredible. It was so good. So we start out the night with the men's Money in the Bank match, and that signals to me, okay, LA are they going to pull the trigger? Because the night before, same building, O2 Arena, LA Knight comes out cutting a promo with Logan Paul, and holy shit, he's over like Rover. I mean, they pop hard for him when his music hits on Friday night. And it really becomes, man, you pull the trigger, do it. Now, I'm pretty sure I said it here with you, where I've made the case in the past that I want him to win so bad. Let me tell you something. Let me talk to you. I never get upset with the finishes in a pro wrestling match. Like, number one, I'm a grown-up. And number two, it's a TV show. I don't watch Game of Thrones. And it happened one time at the Red Wedding. But otherwise, I'm not angry at what happened. It's a TV show. I have favorites. I have guys that I want to win. And for the first time, and I can't tell you the last time, I was so upset at the end of the Money in the Bank match. I wanted LA Knight to win so bad. And they did a phenomenal job teasing it because what a great finish, because LA Knight everyone's trying to stop him, and he takes turns thwarting all of their efforts and throwing them out the ring. It's like he's going to do it. And then Damian Priest gets up there. Joey, I wanted to chuck the pillow across the room. I was so upset. But I have said to you in the past that LA Knight doesn't need that briefcase. He's so over. He doesn't need it.
You know how long I've been on LA Knight's been since he was in NXT. I was like, this guy is the star. He's the star of the show.
I love him.
But I gotta say, I think everyone's reaction to this is a wild overreaction.
Are people freaking out like with Cody at WrestleMania?
I think worse.
No.
I think worse. People are losing their shit over LA Knight not winning.
Because it was I didn't believe it was a missed opportunity with Cody Rhodes, but be like, oh my God, it's a missed opportunity. And I was like,
I don't think they missed opportunity here either. I don't think
I don't think they did either. Because like I said, he's so over. He doesn't need the briefcase.
Here's what, can I tell you? I think, and then
I wanted it though.
Listen, I know why everyone wanted it. Here's why everyone wanted it.
They want the moment.
They want the moment. They want the crowd. They just want that moment. They want to see that moment.
I wanted the moment. Yes. But outside the moment, he does not need that.
And you, first of all, you're the one for weeks, maybe Priest, for 2 months, you've had Priest. You said, this is Priest.
I hit the nail on the head on that one.
And really until Logan Paul showed up, you were all on, you were on Priest and you nailed it. And to be honest, the story of the bloodline now is this. They've been building to Damian Priest and Finn and Damian winning and Finn losing. This is what really was supposed to happen.
Yep.
They told the story that they've been building, and LA Knight is the winner of the match with or without the briefcase.
Totally.
The reaction he got coming out. Guys, he's going to fight Logan Paul at SummerSlam. That is going to be one of the biggest matches of his career, maybe the biggest match of his career. He's going to be at SummerSlam against a guy who has 50 million Instagram followers or whatever. He won. I understand. The moment would have been great too. But I thought just him coming out to that reaction to the crowd was a moment for me. I think that validates all the shit.
Totally.
It validates everything. And briefcase would have been great. But you know what? I was happier to see Io get the pop. She got the loudest pop of the night. And I know we're going to talk about that, but I'm just saying, to your point, I guess he doesn't need it. And everyone's reaction is it's crazy. It's like, guys, come on.
We just wanted the moment. Big picture wise, it was the right call. You just wanted, everyone just wanted, I just wanted the moment. Yeah. And it had been a fleeting moment, and then it's over with.
Right. And then what? And then he's walking around with the briefcase that there was no really, there's at least now Damian has a story and he can hold it for a long time, and the Judgment Day stuff.
And Damian Priest looks like a world champion. He does. He looks
and like I think people are already forgetting that Backlash was only 2 months ago. Coming out of Backlash,
he was amazing.
There was no everyone was like, this guy's next. This guy's the next world champion.
And he is.
This guy's the next big star. This guy's the next big everything.
And he is.
And I know we do this all the time with wrestling where things move so fast. It's like we're on to the next thing. It was not that long ago where everyone and all of Twitter and all of wrestling was like, put the rocket on Damian Priest. Well, here you go.
Yeah, and I get it. It's the right call. It's right.
And I know LA Knight's great. I love LA Knight. He is probably my favorite wrestler.
He's not going anywhere. There's no way that everyone in the back who makes those decisions is like, what do we do with LA Knight now? What do you do? You bring up, you pop them right to the top of the card. That's what you do.
Here's what's going to happen. Damian Priest is going to walk around for the next 6 months with a briefcase. LA Knight's going to have one of the biggest matches at SummerSlam. What would you rather have if you're in that? I get it.
I really think if you were to ask LA Knight right now, what's the better outcome? You winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, and you get kind of like a lukewarm reaction like Damian Priest did, or the reaction you got the entire match. Which do you want?
You know what he wants. You know what he wants.
The way that it went is what he wants.
Oh my God, 100%. The introduction, the reaction during the introduction, and
major star.
There was one other moment in the match. I guess it was probably the moment
when he was throwing everyone out of the ring.
Clearing everyone out.
Yeah,
it was just
what a moment.
It was incredible. So they both won. They both come out as winners. And by the way, I thought Nakamura comes out of that as a winner too, because that crowd was going ape shit for him. And when he comes back to the States and he changes his intro music to the Lil Uzi Vert version of his intro music, he's the rocket ship's gonna be back on him too.
Yo, how about that spot with Ricochet and Logan Paul? I was so scared watching that.
They showed a replay. I was too. When I saw it, I was like, holy shit. But they showed a different angle, and it looked like he actually landed on his right shoulder.
Oh, he did. His shoulder was all bloody.
Okay. Well, because at first it looked like he just landed on his head.
No, it's his shoulder.
Okay, good. Because at first it looked horrific. It looked really bad. I was like, this guy's too rich to be doing this.
Show you what unbelievable athletes the two of those guys are. It's crazy that they saved that spot. They should have went flying off the rope. And the fact that they were able to save it, unbelievable.
And also, and we know Ricochet, what kind of freak he is, but like I texted my brother as that match was starting, and I'm like, how insane is it that Logan Paul is in a Money in the Bank?
Logan Paul is one of the best athletes in the world. He really is. It's
crazy. Like, part-time, this match is not a match for part-timers. You should not be,
because he's one of the best athletes in the world.
You shouldn't have 4 professional wrestling matches ever and be in Money in the Bank and doing the things that he's doing. It's unbelievable. I was just like, how the hell is he doing this stuff? It's wild.
So I'm
ready. I'm ready. I think I said I was ready after the last time I saw him.
I hope we're getting LA Knight and Logan Paul SummerSlam.
But I'm saying, I think I'm ready to say he's better than McAfee. In the ring.
He is better than McAfee. What are you talking about?
McAfee, first of all, McAfee had great matches.
I know, but he's not Logan Paul, dude.
McAfee had go. I think you need to go rewatch his match with Adam Cole.
I don't.
I think you do.
Yeah, McAfee's really, really good, and he's not Logan Paul.
He's not the athlete. Well, actually, he's probably a better. Let's just be honest. He played in the. I know he was a punter, but But yeah, well, I mean, Logan Paul they're both professional wrestlers. Logan Paul's never been a professional athlete. I'll just put it that way. I mean, I guess he had a fake boxing match with Floyd Mayweather, but go rewatch the match. I'm telling you, just go rewatch the match.
So the Intercontinental Championship match was fine. I was kind of hoping Randy Orton was going to return, but I guess you don't want too many returns, too many surprises, because we ended up getting Cena. And of course, we also ended up getting McIntyre, which I thought was very cool. I was very into it. It's obviously in London. He's not from England, but still,
you're happy with that return?
Well, so you're unhappy because, like we both hoped, he didn't come back as Scottish Psychopath. Right. All right. Here's the thing.
And he also stole Adam Cole's gimmick.
Here's the thing. He's going to be Scottish Psychopath. But any star like Drew McIntyre who returns after a long hiatus is going to return as a massive babyface. So he returned because he's been gone. Everyone's going to cheer. He's been gone. They're super happy to see him. You can't do anything about it. Everyone's going to be excited. So he's going to have this feud now with Gunther, definitely SummerSlam. And soon after that, he's going to turn into Scottish Psychopath. But you're a babyface when you return after so long. You can't do anything about it.
I don't think I guess, but if you have him return against the right person, they're not going to cheer him.
But if you have McIntyre and Gunther's going to be fire. Come on. Like we saw the 30 of them.
We've been here though.
Well, it's a triple threat when we saw it.
I understand, but we've been here.
That's good. I'm into it.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't need any more of this here. Will it be a good match? It'll be fine. It'll be a good match. I'm done with this Drew McIntyre character. It's corny.
I'd like him to go back. Yes.
It hasn't been good for a long time. He left for a long time. He needs a refresh.
I think it's temporary.
He is back as the exact same character, and he's not going to beat Gunther. And if he does,
and maybe not beating Gunther, it sets him off.
But he didn't. He already didn't beat Gunther, and I thought that's what set him off.
Well, but he didn't eat the pin, did he?
I don't know, but he still lost. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't. I know they did it for the crowd.
Yeah,
they did it in London. He's from Wales, right, or Scotland. Mm-hmm. Scottish Psychopath. But I don't know. Maybe it rubbed me the wrong way that he did the Adam Cole thing, because that was weird. Has he ever done that before?
No.
That was very strange to me.
No.
I don't know why he did that.
The men's world championship match. Good match.
Fine. Short, pretty short.
Yeah. I thought Finn had a chance, especially because Damian Priest won Money in the Bank. it works with him not winning too, because I told you what my, fantasy booking is, that the time comes, Damian Priest goes to cash in, and Finn Balor costs Damian Priest the cash in, and it's kind of, hey, if I'm not going to win it, you're not winning it either. One of those kind of deals. But anyway, so Priest ends up distracting Finn inadvertently, so that's going to keep that storyline going. That's the whole point there. That's obviously good. So I'm into that. Like, that's a big story on Friday nights is the Bloodline Civil War. We might as well have Judgment Day Civil War as well. And did you hear, by the way, where Samantha Irvin, the ring announcer, who is phenomenal, going into the women's ladder match, she announced from Judgment Day, representing Judgment Day, Bayley.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah.
Well, she, you know what? She can get a pass because she's great. She's so good.
She is great.
Particularly when she introduces Imperium.
She's fantastic.
My favorite. That's my favorite.
But that's an oof.
And Chelsea Green.
How does she do Chelsea Green?
She says, the tag team of Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green.
Oh, really? Okay, I gotta listen to that. The finish to the women's ladder match was the one match on the card where it was really difficult to get a sense of what direction they were going in. I knew that it wasn't going to be Becky or Trish or Zoe because they're all kind of mixed up together. It wasn't going to be Zelina because you already had the Zelina Rhea Ripley program. So for me, it was all about damage control. But which one of them is going to win? Super hard. I was thinking / hoping it would be Bayley. I love that it was Io because now you get the whole Io Asuka thing, and if eventually Io cashes in on her, which she will, and she'll win it, then maybe we get the Asuka Io program that we've all been waiting for. I love when they yell at each other and swear words in Japanese. So I loved Io winning it. It was a really cool moment for her, and holy shit, the finish was really fun. Really fun.
Do you think Asuka holds the belt long enough? Like with everything with Charlotte and Bianca, you don't think she eventually loses it to one of them?
I'd like
it's
for
tough,
Asuka.
Right?
I don't know.
Because also somebody's got to challenge Rhea. Like at some point, somebody has to
stave off Natalya on Monday night.
Again, that's right.
I think we're looking at Bianca and Charlotte at WrestleMania. So I think that.
Okay.
So I think Asuka can have a little bit of a reign here, and then Io takes it from her, and then you got a little bit of a program between the two of them.
That's good.
I think you got to do Charlotte Bianca WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania. I think you have.
And then Rhea can just keep fighting jobbers.
Well, it is funny though that the women's world champion, who is amazing, is Dominic Mysterio's valet.
It's the entire women's division makes no sense to me. I just got to be honest. Nothing about other than Io winning. By the way, Io winning was incredible. I thought the match was great.
What a great finish. How about her celebrating and Becky and Bayley can't move because they're hooked?
Because they're hooked. Yeah, it was great. The ending was awesome. Yep. The handcuff thing through the ladder was awesome. Nothing else about the women's division makes sense to me. I don't understand why the women's title match was on SmackDown. I don't understand why Rhea's a valet. I don't understand why you unify the women's titles just to break up Ronda.
Okay, so
Ronda
let's
Rousey
talk about
and
that.
Shayna Baszler.
Okay,
I just don't understand what's going on.
I like that we're clearly getting Shayna. Like Shayna's finally going to get her shine. Love it.
Sure.
But this to me was the low point of the night because why the hell did she turn on her? I'm good with her turning on her, but can I get a reason? Can it make sense? And I'm not someone who nitpicks about stuff like this. I'm sure they're going to
explain it, right? They'll explain it.
I mean, could you have at least given me a moment in the match where maybe Ronda gave her the side eye? And then Shayna reacts. Don't have the match end with me looking like it's like they wanted us to be sympathetic for Ronda. I don't want to be sympathetic to Ronda.
No.
But that's the way they did it. Because now we're like, why did Shayna turn on her? Now we have to be sympathetic for Ronda, and I don't want to be sympathetic to her.
No,
this was the low point of the night to me.
Yeah, but I think it'll naturally, find the right course. Because I think crowds are not going to cheer Ronda.
No, they're not.
They're going to cheer Shayna. So I think if that was their intent, which maybe it was, it'll naturally reverse course. Like it'll naturally find the way it's supposed to be because no matter what WWE wants, everyone hates Ronda. So they're going to cheer for Shayna. So it'll be fine, but you're right. And it was also the point in the match when she attacked her was weird. Like I don't know if there was a weird camera angle or I wasn't paying attention because that match really meant very little to me. I didn't even notice it. Like it was just like all of a sudden Ronda was down. And
I went to the kitchen to go get something to eat, and then Michael Cole's yelling, and I ran back to him. I go, whoa, 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 and I had to pick up the remote. And
I texted you before the match because I thought they were going to win, and I thought Raquel Rodriguez was going to turn on Liv because I think I think eventually she's going to turn heel. But yeah, it was the whole thing's weird. And again, just weird to me that, you couldn't have like if Liv was going to come back, we couldn't have had Ronda and Shayna lose to the good tag team and then have Shayna turn on Ronda and then have the good tag team.
This was the low point of the night. You're right. This was the low point of the night to me.
You brought the women's champions up from NXT to take their titles from them just for Ronda and Shayna. Yeah. Like it was a weird dynamic.
So how about this? Not only do we get a phenomenal show, but we got a bunch of... They also managed to set up SummerSlam. We're going to get Ronda and Shayna at SummerSlam, is what I would think. We're going to get Gunther and Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. We're going to get probably Roman versus Jay at SummerSlam. And we're going to get John Cena versus Grayson Waller at SummerSlam.
You think so?
Yeah, I do think so. But let me ask you this. Are we getting John Cena versus Grayson Waller is it for who gets WrestleMania between London and Australia? Is that what they just did?
I mean, maybe.
Are they fighting for who gets WrestleMania?
I don't. Are they going to fight? Is my first. I think they are. I'm not totally convinced, but I guess maybe you're right.
I feel like they're fighting for WrestleMania.
Is that going to be Grayson Waller's first match on the main roster?
Yeah, because he's hurt right now. Yeah.
Well, but is he? Because you saw what he did during the match.
No, he's hurt. He's hurt.
I know he put out the video saying he was hurt, but I think that was just a troll.
Oh no, I've seen pictures with him and what's her name, Indy Hartwell in leg braces.
But he attacked Cena, and then he did the up down thing in the ring, like kind of showing that he's not hurt
because maybe he's ready now.
But he just put the video out like a couple days ago saying he was hurt.
Oh yeah, so maybe he was fucking with everyone there. But the reason he's been doing Grayson Waller effect for the last 2.5 months, he's been hurt.
Right. Oh, that's what I thought. But then this happened. So I was like, he may
be ready now. Maybe he's ready now. Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense.
But are they fighting for what country gets WrestleMania?
No, but I think I will say, I think the timing of the Cena showing up in London, WrestleMania, where is it going to be? I think the timing is very, very interesting.
Okay.
I do. There happens to be a show coming up that is being touted as the biggest show ever in Wembley Stadium by another company.
Yes.
And it just so happens now, all of a sudden, WWE is going to go back to London for WrestleMania. I don't think there's a. I don't think that's a. I
think you're right.
I think
you're right. That was a phenomenal show, man. I wish every pay-per-view was Saturday afternoon. I still got my night ahead of me. This was a nice way to spend the Saturday.
We get to go watch Collision.
Yeah, right. Is Collision worth watching tonight?
MJF's fighting.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Really great show. I mean, I was really, really fun. You got anything else here, Joey? And we can wrap this thing up?
No, I'm good. Awesome. Great show.
Also, great show. Fun, man. Really fun. Thanks, everyone, for listening today. Again, we're happy we could jump right on board with a reaction show for just a classic Money in the Bank. Joey, tell all your fans you'll talk to them next weekend. Go ahead.
See you guys next week. Enjoy Collision tonight.
Enjoy another week of pro wrestling. We'll talk to you next week on It's Still Real to Me. See ya.